Hello Minecrafters. In this video I will show you how to build an infinitely expandable multi-item storage using the Copper Golem. And multi-item storage allows you to store different types of items into the same chest, saving space and material cost compared to single item type filters. Before the Copper Golem, multi-item storage systems required complex redstone and were usually fragile, subject to breaking from relog or accidental misuse. This multi-item sorter is both simple to build and robust. In contrast to some other Copper Golem storage designs, this one dedicates a separate Copper Golem to each slice of chests, making it easier to expand the storage. It also uses a simple redstone filter to allow you to stack multiple chests under each column. The underlying mechanics of Copper Golems are more complex than they may look. Each Copper Golem tries to interact with chests in order of proximity, so the chests within each slice must be tightly arranged. After this golem pulls an item out of the copper chest, we needed to check the filter chest before putting the item in the empty chest that goes to the next filter slice. I've made sure it follows this order by putting the copper chest directly next to the filter chest, and the empty chest on the other side but a block higher, so it is farther than the filter chest, but not as far as the chest in the next slice over. The golem also needs to be able to pathfind to a support block under each chest, even if it never reaches that position. That is why I have a stair or glass under the copper chest and a block and a half of space above the pass-on chest so that it can imagine jumping up there. There are two ways to wire this storage. Both allow up to 52 types of items in each slice. The simpler wiring limits you to no more than 3 unstackable item types in its slice. The more advanced wiring allows for up to 52 unstackable types and also makes the depth dimension of the filter 1 block shorter. To build this multi-item sorter, you may want to start by considering how many chests you're going to use in each slice, how high you want to build it. So we could do a lot, but I'm going to stick with 2 for this demonstration. So stack up your chest and then put a glass block or upside down stair or something like that on top of them. Then you'll need 3 hoppers pointing into the back, and the filter hopper will go on top of that stack of hoppers. Now it can be the filter chest, not filter hopper. It can be a double chest, as you just shown me show there, or a single chest, depending on how many items you plan to filter into that slice. And then we're going to make a basic item filter. This doesn't have to be overflow proof since we're doing 2 wide slices. So you can see the torch and repeater on the bottom comparator, and then just 2 dust on the top is sufficient. After you get the filter redstone in, then you can go ahead and make place a copper block, but don't create the Copper Golem yet. We want to then place the overflow or pass-on chest and get our hoppers put in. So this would be the input hopper line, or you could do a water stream into that first hopper, whatever suits you and how you're building your storage. Then go ahead and place the next piece of copper and 3 hoppers connecting the slice to where the next is going to be, and then we will put glass all around. So we want to make sure and have this cage or walls in for the Copper Golem before you create it so that he doesn't run away. And with those in place, we can just reach in and place the jack-o'-lantern and make the Copper Golem. Now he will go ahead and start looking in the copper chest for items. In the filter chest, you can only need 1 of each item that you're going to filter. So I'm going to grab just a bunch of dirt-related blocks here for demonstration purposes. And you'll need a stack plus a few more of something to create enough signal strength to activate the redstone. So that could be a few extra of one of the other items that you're sorting, or it could be a dummy item, whatever you choose. It does not matter if you leave extra slots empty, because the Copper Golem will only match items that are in the chest, and he'll ignore the empty slots. So I'm dropping in some of the nether wart there. He's going to find it. There he goes, grabbing it, and he'll put it in here. And then you'll need to calibrate how many items have to be in the chest. So as I said, the full stack is that bed there, and then I'm going to just start adding some mycelium until it starts to filter. and it's probably going to be less than a full stack of that. So if I put too much in, it'll start to take out the dummy item. So then we just want to work backwards. Put a stack of something that you're going to sort, and then add extra items until that stack fully sorts. So it looks like here I need to add a few more items. There we go. And you can see each item I add, the filter is going to pull one more item down. One more. And now we're set. So he will sort everything we want into this slice. Make sure to leave at least 2 slots in your chest open, the first 2 slots, because the Copper Golem actually moves items faster than a hopper can pull them out if he's sorting continuously the same item type. So you want to have at least 2 slots open so that there's a little room for overflow if he's doing a lot of one item in a row. You also need to have a piston at the back of each Copper Golem chamber to nudge the Copper Golem on relog in case he gets stuck, which they do have a chance of getting stuck between 2 chests. So we'll power block behind the piston with an observer that's watching a cauldron. It pulses on relog, but it's watching a cauldron. Just 1 observer and cauldron per chunk that you have the storage in. So when you put a bunch of slices together, it'll look like this. We've got a line of blocks running behind the pistons with redstone dust on it, and 1 observer and cauldron every 16 blocks. You can tile as many of these slices together as you want, because if some get unloaded, it will not cause any problem other than a backup, which will eventually clear once you leave it loaded for long enough for the golems to process the items. If you'd like to do the advanced wiring, you will need to have the comparator point directly into a block which powers dust below it, and then a torch on the other side of that block. So our redstone torch is 1 block higher, but that really does not make a difference to the sorting. Then we want to have this comparator, dust beside our first comparator, and another comparator giving a signal strength to that dust. Now this amount of signal strength you'll need there depends on how many unstackables you're going to have in that slice, and you will need to have the same number of unstackables in adjacent slices, because each of these comparators is going to affect 2 slices since they're in between. I'm going to set this one up to sort minecart types just for demonstration, and we'll figure out how many additional items we need to get the signal strength right. So it looks like we need another stack, maybe another, and quite a few more. Yeah, so I had the furnace about 1/3 of the way full with 1 stack of items in it, and so it looks like I need 8+ stacks of items in the filter chest. Get rid of this stuff now, and then we'll run some minecarts through. So say I got a haul of chest minecarts from a mine shaft, and our little guy will start sorting those shortly. What's he doing? Oh, he's looking around. Here he goes. Yep, there it is. So he's sorting the chest minecart, and that's very convenient. Now I just dropped a hopper in there to show what he does with the item, actually cauldron, sorry, it's black. With the item that doesn't match, he puts it in the pass-on chest, which then takes it around to where it's going to go in the next slice. Now I'm noticing that the piston is extended there, so it is getting powered by something. You may have noticed it too. Of course, it shouldn't be constantly powered. It's this block down here. So we can replace this block. If you don't want to use a double chest for the filtering, then you can use a copper grate there, which the comparator will read through, and then it won't get powered by the torch. You could also use a chain as another alternative, or a dirt path, I think would work there too. You will need to have the observer and cauldron that you just saw me break, though, 1 in every chunk again for that wiring. So there's your Copper Golem multi-item sorter. Hopefully easy to build, easy to understand, and very useful in your Minecraft world.